It is Wednesday, November 3rd, and there's a couple brand new Switch stories I want to share with you all today, starting with a big update and some very unfortunate news on a story we talked about yesterday in terms of how to find a Nintendo 64 Switch Online controller from Nintendo directly, and we now have a very disappointing update on the availability of this controller going forward. Then I also want to share with you guys the big talking point for today's video around Donkey Kong and Nintendo's big plan to revive this franchise and bring it back in a big way, and I do believe this will include a Switch game, so we have to talk about it. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, there's a couple brand new stories that have dropped today that I want to share with you all, and we have to start it off with a very unfortunate update around the Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller and the stock issues that we are continuing to see with this, as we did get an additional stock drop that happened yesterday earlier in the day. And then, of course, the Nintendo website reflected out of stock, and at some point during the day, shortly after I filmed the video, Nintendo actually updated the next restock date to happen in 2022, as opposed to what I would be expecting to see, which would have been numerous restocks happening throughout the holiday season, because obviously this is a very high demand item, and it's extremely unfortunate that scalpers have taken advantage of this situation and are clearing over $100 to $130 per controller fairly easily on eBay, which is just a shame to see when this should retail at $50. And a big problem, and I think a frustration point on how Nintendo handles these Switch Online controllers specifically, is that they will only actually sell you it from their Nintendo Online store directly. They don't partner with retail stores in any way, shape, or form, so you cannot go into Walmart, Target, Best Buy, or order this thing from Amazon like you typically would be able to do with Nintendo items, or even like their classic mini console series were available at retailers like that, and that is just not the case with their Switch Online controller lineup. And you know, we saw major stock issues actually happen with essentially all of the controllers that have come out. I don't believe the NES stayed out of stock for so long. The SNES was out of stock for like the longest period of time, and of course now they finally caught up, and I don't know when it even came back into stock, because I wanted that controller and I missed the pre-order and the order waves that had dropped back in the day when that was released, and I felt like I checked on the website occasionally off and on over the course of a full year or more and never saw the thing in stock. And now, of course, they do have a plethora of those, and that one is easy to now get. But both the N64 and even surprisingly the Sega Genesis controller, which I think is a big reach at $49.99 asking price, are out of stock for the foreseeable future. And we can officially confirm that for the N64 controller, we will not have any additional restocks happen this year, and that's a big issue for fans that are, of course, signing up for the expansion pack service, which is already a controversial topic in and of itself. But for fans, I feel like, that did spend that money, that did go back to play these N64 games, it was primarily due to nostalgia, and it is a huge bonus to have a nostalgic controller that you remember playing those games originally back on the N64. So I just think this is Nintendo dropping the ball in production of this controller. If they are going to be the only distributor of it and not partner with retailers, they need to scale the production to at least come close to demand, you know, ahead of time. I don't think that this is something that is affected by the chip shortage as much, because, you know, it's just a controller. They're not having to source as many parts. So I know Nintendo was planning on this expansion pack for a long time, so you can't tell me that they didn't probably have the resources to pump into making enough of these things. But it is one of those items that will be, unfortunately, probably paid by the scalper prices from a lot of people as we walk forward during the holiday season. So just for anybody on the hunt out there, the next way to get this at retail price and not have to pay those crazy eBay prices is going to be at some point in 2022. And bonus tip, in case you didn't see yesterday's video, make sure you do have Twitter account set up with notifications on, and follow an account by the name of Wario64 that I will have linked in the description down below for these random retail restocks to go live, because for some reason that dude never sleeps and he just tweets out all these new deals and links whenever they do go live. So he was effective at tweeting it out right away yesterday, but the controllers again sold out right away. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below if you're going to be trying to pick one of these things up in 2022, or if you know you really want to have this controller and you will actually bend to paying the scalper prices to get it this year. So share all of your thoughts and feelings around this N64 online controller situation in the comments down below. Now, the other story I want to share with you all today is the reason behind why you may be seeing Donkey Kong talked about online a lot today, and that is because we have a new report that has actually backed up previous leaks and rumors that suggest that Nintendo is indeed planning a full-scale Donkey Kong movie similar to what we are expecting to take place next year with the Mario animation movie, and I think that this lines up with the bigger plan for the Donkey Kong franchise, which does include a Switch game, or at least a new installment in the franchise, as we don't know it'll come out on the Switch as it stands right now, but it is highly likely that it will. So I want to kick off this conversation by reading through the VGC article that outlines what this new report indicates and how it does actually corroborate previous leaks and rumors that suggest that this is part of a bigger plan to reboot and relaunch Donkey Kong as a major franchise and essentially try to get it in fans' minds as on the same level of something like their Mario series. So it's a very exciting time, and I want to talk through that and what we can maybe expect from this future installment in the franchise in terms of the Switch game. Another source points to a potential Donkey Kong movie with Seth Rogen. DK Project could be next in line after 2022's Super Mario film, it's claimed. Universal Studios animation studio Illumination could be planning a standalone Donkey Kong movie as its next Nintendo feature, it's been claimed. That's according to sources cited by Giant Freakin' Robot, a movie news site with some track record of exclusive reporting. The site claims that the Donkey Kong project has entered production, and actor Seth Rogen, who will voice DK in next year's Super Mario film, is claimed to have signed up for the lead ape. The publication did not provide further details, but speculated that the cast members from Super Mario could potentially join the DK movie. The latest report could corroborate claims made earlier this year that Nintendo is planning a big push for its Donkey Kong franchise, including a new game, animation, and theme park world. Historically reliable Nintendo insider Zippo claimed in May that the Donkey Kong franchise would be the next focus of its push outside of video games. He's quoted here saying, "Donkey Kong & Co. aren't just getting a new game, they're getting animation, a big theme park expansion, merchandise, etc." they wrote. This new game is not just a one-off. DK is being taken seriously at the big N again, and that should be good news for fans everywhere. A few months after Zippo's post and following years of speculation, Nintendo and Universal officially announced that they're building a Donkey Kong expansion at the Super Nintendo World theme park in Osaka, Japan. So while the movie being all but confirmed for the Donkey Kong franchise is very exciting to me, and I will be happy to check out that movie, I am more interested in the topic around the game, as it is the final missing puzzle piece in this rumor and leak that suggests that Donkey Kong is indeed getting a huge push from Nintendo, and I do tend to believe that it is time to do this. Like, Nintendo wants to structure things in the right way to get Donkey Kong positioned as a mainline franchise in fans' minds again, and he has had quite the break from a new installment, because if you guys don't realize, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was originally released on the Wii U in February of 2014. Of course, we did see it re-released as a Switch port, but if you think about that gap in time since we've had a new mainline Donkey Kong game, Nintendo has had plenty of time to plan this out, and it does look like it's aligning with something like a movie release, and then of course this theme park expansion. And typically with companies and how they promote things with PR, you want to have things in line at least in a similar time window for these releases, maybe 6 to 12 months apart from each other, from when, you know, the movie goes live to when the theme park opens to when something like a new Donkey Kong game would release. But I would actually hold out hope that maybe we would find out what this Donkey Kong game is as soon as next year. It would be a super big surprise if it was something like a show closer for a February Nintendo Direct, but I do think it's time for us to at least get a glimpse of what Nintendo is working on here, as there were also leaks and rumors that we've talked about here on the channel quite a while back that suggested that indeed the Mario Odyssey team, or at least the same company, not the exact developers that do Mario Odyssey, but the same company, was actually taking on this project. It would most likely leave the country name out of the Donkey Kong installment, and it's supposed to be a 2.5 installment in the series. Now, there is some talk and speculation around it potentially being a 3D game, but according to all of the leaks and insiders at the time, they were suggesting it will indeed be 2.5D as opposed to 3D. I would not be opposed to a Donkey Kong 3D game. We're already seeing that treatment given to Kirby this time around, so I do think it would be cool to take on that kind of a project. But at the same time, I am somebody who holds extreme nostalgia for the Donkey Kong Country games when it comes to specifically the NES installments in Country 1, 2, and 3, and I think Country 2 for me is probably my favorite 2D platformer of all time, period. And that's saying something, because I'm a huge fan of those SNES style 2D platformers, and even some ones that we've seen released nowadays. So that is my all-time favorite, still sticks out to me as the best level design, some of the best music ever in gaming in my opinion, and I think it would be very exciting to see something like an improvement on what we saw in Tropical Freeze, or the next step for that, or just going in a new direction altogether, is all a good thing in my book, because me just being a fan of the Donkey Kong franchise, it feels like we are long overdue for some love for Donkey Kong. And there's other Nintendo franchises that, you know, we need to talk about, obviously, that have been forgotten, F-Zero being one of them that I really hope we see come back. But, you know, regardless, we haven't seen any love for Donkey Kong in the main spotlight in quite some time, and I personally believe that this movie is, of course, one additional puzzle piece in Nintendo's larger plan for Donkey Kong. But that's where I want to pose the question to you guys is, are you excited for the movie announcement? What do you think about Seth Rogen being all but confirmed for the voice actor as the lead role for Donkey Kong in this movie? And I think that obviously makes sense since he is Donkey Kong in the Mario movie, but share your thoughts around that with me. And then I really want to hear from you guys on what you want to see from the future of the Donkey Kong franchise as a whole. What are some of your favorite installments in the series so far, and what direction would you like to see Nintendo go? Do you want to see them carry over that Donkey Kong 64 formula, but of course improve it and bring it up to current standards? Like, I really want to hear from you all on what your most nostalgic Donkey Kong games are and which direction you hope Nintendo goes with the franchise in the future. So please make sure to share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.